The final season of You was, yeah. Thank God this show is over. The show is stupid, but I love it, and it's always funny how a simple hat gives this man the power of invincibility. And we are talking spoilers, so if you have not watched this season yet, come back later. When You Season 1 came out years ago, like many people, it quickly became one of my favorite shows. The man, the character of Joe, he's a loser, he's a dork, he's a dweeb, but it's something about him that makes you feel weird because we know that this guy is clearly crazy, he's doing all of these evil things, but for some reason, we root for him. Especially in today's climate, I am surprised at just how popular this show has become because this entire show is about a dude who stalks women and has killed multiple women brutally as the seasons progressed. I haven't watched them forever, but season 1 was great television, and outside of Gwen Beck being a whore, I don't really have any complaints. Season 2 was also good as Joe moved to a new location and met Love Quinn, who we'll talk about more in a second. Outside of the I Wolf You scene, this was another good season. Season 3 is where we saw the civil war between Joe and Love, and a friendly reminder that you think you do, but you don't actually want to meet somebody that match your energy. I don't think season 3 was the greatest thing ever, but it was cool. It was a pretty solid season. But after Love Quinn died, that's when I started to look at my watch and was like, okay, how much longer can we do this? So we get season 4 and Joe moves out the country. He finds another rich girl somehow, kills some more people, and that's when I was like, all right, can we please end this show? Because you already had to turn your brain off a little bit to enjoy the show. But with season 4, we're starting to get too crazy. So now we get to season 5, and for everybody that watches this show, for the most part, we all knew that this show most likely was going to end in one or two ways, and how we got to that point was complete garbage to me. So for a lot of this season, especially at the beginning, for most of it, I just kept finding myself saying, I don't care. The character of Kate and her logic for this relationship was so stupid to me. As the seasons progressed, the way that regular old Joe somehow constantly found himself in the middle of these circles of the rich and powerful, and then he basically became a celebrity when he married Kate, was all stupid to me. And then they did add in the plot twist halfway through the season. It did pique my interest for a little bit, and then I went right back into being stupid. But before I take a complete dump on this season, let's talk about the good stuff. The acting in this season from everyone was really good, especially from Penn Badgley, and Anna Camp really caught me by surprise. I could not stand the twins in this series of Maddie and Reagan, but in a good way, because I feel like obviously those characters were purposely written to be both annoying and stupid, but my dumbass thought that it was actually two different actresses. I thought it was actually twins, but it's the same person. I didn't realize that it was the same person until Reagan died, and then Maddie was in the mirror pretending to be Reagan, and then I started to put two and two together, and then I went on Google. Maybe I'm stupid, but Penn Badgley's performance was incredible, and to me, by far the best work he's done in this series. He can gaslight his ass off. He played this character so well that he's one of those people that if I saw him in real life, or if I see him in another movie, if I see him in another TV show, he's always going to be Joe. If I had to pick my favorite character from this season, for me, it would definitely be Teddy. I love that the sister tried to make him feel like an outsider, but he always stood up for himself. He was down to lie about the Uncle Bob killing, and for most of this season, he felt like the only person that, for the most part, had common sense. And I also love that as a black man, I love seeing other black people realize in real time that they surrounded by a bunch of crazy white people. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I did like the plot twist of Bronte's character being a catfish, and then the whole relationship between her and Clayton being an act that just so happened to go sideways, and then the whole thing with the twins, like Maddie pretending to be Reagan. I thought that whole situation was pretty fun, and I feel like a lot of the things that I enjoyed in this season, I feel like either got cut way too short or stretched way too long. I don't know if they had some sort of mandate from Netflix, but so much of this season I felt like would have been better served if we didn't have 10 episodes. Like many people watching this season, I finally wanted Joe to get what was coming to him, whether that was him going to jail or him actually dying. But they kept pump faking us. Like, I feel like Clayton died on episode 5, live on TikTok, might I add. But after Clayton died, I was like, how the hell is Joe gonna get out of this? And then I looked at the episode list and I was like, damn, we only on episode 5? And that leads to my biggest problem with this season. I hated the character of Bronte. From the very first moment that we see her, I would have threw her ass out that store and never wanted to see her again. It's like the writers were in the writing room and they were like, how can we connect this season back to season 1 and back to back? I know, we're gonna throw in this random character and she's gonna know Beck, and then she's gonna meet this guy that just so happens to be the son of the therapist from season 1. Bronte's character played way too big of a role in my opinion, and some of the key points in this season I wish went to somebody else. I'm a fan of Joe, even though I know he's wrong with everything he does, but what he did to Nadia at the end of season 4 really punched me in the gut because I felt so bad for her and it completely changed how I looked at him. I know it's stupid outside of all the other murders. So they bring Nadia's character back and she doesn't really do anything. Marianne also comes back and again, doesn't really do anything. And like I said earlier, I like the plot twist of the catfish situation, but that quickly went away because Bronte is an idiot. Like, I would have loved for Nadia, Marianne, and Kate to have an even bigger role. Kate's character this entire season was pretty much like, I'm a good person. I want you to murder my uncle, but I'm a good person. Like, I wanted more of her being with Joe and pretending that everything is okay. Not Bronte. Joe's character completely cracks and he goes full serial killer and looks for any reason to kill people. I really like seeing Joe's character start to break down and fully crashed out, even though I didn't care about the Henry angle. I never really cared about Henry, but that scene in the series finale where he called Joe a monster and just that look that came over Joe's face made me happy and sad. Like, don't get me wrong, Joe is an animal that 100% deserves to get put down, but that was really hard to watch. In a good way. I just wasn't expecting Bronte to be such a driving force in this season. Like, Joe loves Bronte because he feels like she might truly understand him, but Joe had that woman 2 seasons ago. Love Quinn was a perfect woman for Joe. She matched his energy and Joe saw that and he said, hell no. I think Victoria Pedretti is an amazing actress and I loved her as Love. I don't know if she wanted nothing to do with this show, but I wish she would have played some sort of role this season. Joe has a history of seeing visions and seeing things, and I guess you can say after season 4 he got past that. That's the old him, but I feel like it would have been cool if we would have saw visions of Love and she might be upset that Kate or Bronte might be the mother of Henry now. Like, I feel like that would have been cool. Maybe I'm just a stan of Love, but I wanted her to be involved in this in some capacity. But Bronte ruins the marriage. She's the plot twist in the middle of the season. She saves him because she says self-defense. She loves him and then she's scared of him. She has her own inner voice monologue and she captures Joe. That's way too much Bronte. The moment when Joe got caught just didn't feel earned, in my opinion. And also, her breath control is crazy. For her to be shot in the stomach and then hold her breath for that long while being held underwater. And then when I saw her pop back up, that was just so stupid to me. That entire last episode felt so underwhelming, especially the way that Joe got caught and went to jail. If you wanted Joe to get captured, for me personally, I feel like Nadia or Marianne should have been involved in some sort of capacity. Or if you wanted Joe to die, I feel like they had the perfect ending with Joe and Kate dying in that fire together, especially after they shared that emotional moment together. Joe exposes himself through that voice note and he clears Nadia. I feel like that would have been a perfectly fine ending. Bronte didn't deserve that. And speaking of burning in a building together, how in the hell did Kate get out of that fire? She was hit in the head with a hammer, she was shot in the stomach, she was passed out and inhaling smoke for God knows how long, and you telling me that after Joe and Bronte walked out of that building, she mustered up the strength and walked right out the front door? Did some good Samaritan come in and bring her out that fire? Did Daredevil come out of the Disney universe, out of the MCU, and come swoop Kate up and bring her out that burning building? Like, the writers were so crazy and bold this season, yet they were scared to kill either Bronte or Kate. Like, I feel like at least one of them should have died. You can't pump fake deaths for both of them. I'm just glad that this show is ending. It had a really great start, but after season 3, it felt like a cash grab because it was so popular. Like, it felt like they needed to do this. It's really unfortunate that the best part of this series finale comes in the last few seconds when Joe is sitting in jail. He's reading letters from fans and he's giving his last little monologue and he's basically blaming us, the viewers, for watching this show and loving his character. I get it. And I've been saying this for years. It's been driving me crazy because I feel like I'm the only person that remembers this. Or maybe I'm tripping. Maybe they explained it and I just don't remember. But am I the only person that remembers that in season 1, Joe took a piss in a jar and he left it? If you remember, in season 1, Beck was with her friend Peach at some home. Joe found him. Joe was like high as hell, I think, or he had some sort of head injury or something like that. And he took a piss in the jar. He put it on the shelf and said, "I'll come back for you." Later in the episode, Peach caught Joe inside of her home. They went outside, they fought. Joe ended up killing her and he left her home. Later in the episode, the camera shows the cops enter the home. It shows the police officer, and then the camera pans and zooms into the jar of piss still sitting on the bookshelf. Now, I thought at some point that was going to come back and bite Joe in the butt, but nothing. It seemed like nothing ever happened. Maybe I'm tripping, but overall this was a great and creative show. It had a good run and it was fun while it lasted. The earlier seasons had a lot of classic moments, but after a while, the magic and the charm just went away. Like, how do you kill so many people in this day and age and not get caught? But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this season? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What's something that you would have added? What's something that you would have changed? And did you like Bronte? Let me know in the comment section below. But love you guys. As always, remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.